Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever seen two people who, even when they exist in different worlds, still feel connected at the very same point? As if distance is nothing but an illusion, and time never truly separates what has been in harmony from the beginning. Since Jimin's latest photos were released, something has been immediately felt. Not merely an aesthetic that pleases the eye, not just beautiful visuals to be praised and then forgotten. There is emotion. There is a silence that speaks louder than words. There is a feeling that is difficult to explain, yet impossible to ignore. A feeling that lingers, stays quietly, and slowly touches something deeper within. And almost at the same time, Jungkook appears with a contrasting aura. Calm, confident, grounded, and profoundly real. As if he is the answer to all that softness. Two worlds. Two energies. Two ways of being present. Yet somehow, they always end up completing each other, like two sides that were destined to meet. Today, we are not just talking about photos, fashion, or moments captured by the camera. We are returning to Vietnam. To Da Nang. To a series of moments that may seem simple on the surface, yet hold far deeper meaning if we pause for a moment and truly pay attention. Because sometimes, the most honest stories are never spoken out loud. Since Jimin's latest photos were released, something has been immediately felt, not merely visuals, but gentle and quiet emotion. His beauty feels fresh, as if stepping out of a fairy tale, warm, soft, and full of dreams. His face radiates a calm that feels almost fragile, an aura that does not shout to be noticed, yet softly calls you in. The aesthetic he shared with Jonathan Anderson feels poetic and profound. A February opening in Vogue that speaks not only of fashion, but of feeling, of presence, of a beauty that needs no excessive explanation. On the other side, Jungkook arrives with a different energy, yet never one that cancels the other out. Calvin Klein frames him in a relaxed style full of attitude. Loose denim, a structured bomber jacket, and a ribbed tank top that is simple yet full of character. He does not look like he is trying hard. And that is precisely where his strength lies. A portrait of quiet confidence, adorning the cover of Rolling Stone without the need for many words. Two worlds that appear opposite, two contrasting auras, yet somehow always meeting at the same point. And from there, memory carries us back to Vietnam, to Da Nang, to moments that even now still feel alive. When Jimin and Jungkook stepped into the hotel, the welcome awaiting them felt like the opening scene of a romantic comedy. Towels and toilet paper were neatly folded into two figures. Not just any figures, but a couple. Not ambiguous. Not half-hearted. Clear, unmistakable, and intentional. Their reactions were spontaneous. Genuine laughter. Jungkook, truly amused, immediately said the moment had to be captured. Jimin smiled with an almost unconscious comfort, as if this were nothing new to him. As if situations like this were far too familiar to question. The room they stayed in spoke in its own language as well. The master bedroom. A room typically prepared for couples on a honeymoon or a romantic getaway. From the decor to the atmosphere, everything was designed for two people arriving together, not merely sharing a space, but sharing moments. As was their habit, Jimin and Jungkook explored the room with light curiosity. Noticing details. Joking. Letting out small laughs. There was no awkwardness. No exaggerated surprise. As if they already knew exactly what they would find. Then their eyes fell on the bed. On it, embroidered with striking intentionality, were the words, "Welcome to Da Nang, Jimin and Jungkook." Not, "Welcome guys." Not, "Welcome bis." But their names, side by side, on a single bed. What stood out was not their reaction, but how casually they accepted it. There was no excessive shock. No attempt to correct anything. No forced laughter. And that is precisely why the moment felt so powerful. Because what stood out was not their expressions, but the attitude of the hotel staff, who changed nothing at all. The welcome was clearly designed for a heterosexual couple. The towel figures represented a man and a woman. Yet there was no intervention, no adjustment, no attempt to tidy up the narrative. Everything was left as it was, as if nothing needed to be explained. as if this were the most natural thing in the world. And that is where its meaning lies. Jimin and Jungkook fit so seamlessly into that narrative. Then came the announcement of 1 hour of digital minimalism. A pause from the world. As soon as it was announced, Jimin reacted instinctively. He ran into the room and locked himself in. Truly fled. He did not want to give up his phone. There was a small refusal, an almost childlike resistance, until he finally gave in. He dropped himself onto the bed, his body slack like someone who had just lost something precious. And that was when the moment happened. Jungkook approached. Not in a hurry. Not dramatically. He gently stroked Jimin's head, slowly, carefully, as if that touch were a language only the two of them understood. A small gesture, almost silent, yet filled with meaning. Because this was not just any touch. We know Jungkook has said before that Jimin does not like anyone touching his head. No one. And what makes it even more striking, Jungkook said that while still touching Jimin's head. A wordless statement, only I am allowed. Now, that scene unfolded again, but with deeper nuance. Jimin lay there, fragile, yet calm. And Jungkook stroked his head with a serenity that felt almost sacred. There was no tension, no awkwardness, only trust, only closeness, only a touch that needed no explanation, because it was permitted. Then came another moment that left many people silent. Jimin called his father. No drama, no hesitation. The conversation was warm and brief. They had won, thanks to his help. And Jungkook joined the call. Thanking him sincerely. There was no distance, no awkwardness. Just a relationship already built on trust and respect. Vietnam held so many moments like that. Glances, gestures, silences. Small conversations that might be missed if one does not pay attention. But when put together, they form a very clear story. Including the moment on the bed, when Jungkook fully wrapped his arms around Jimin, covering him, enclosing him, as if his body were the safest place Jimin could be. The dim light did not obscure anything. It made everything more honest. Vietnam may have passed. The cameras have been turned off. The lights have been dimmed. But what remains is not just a travel memory. It is a feeling. A comfort that is not fabricated. A trust that does not need to be announced. Touches and silences that can only be understood by two people who truly know each other. Jimin and Jungkook have never tried to explain what they have. They simply live it. And that is precisely where its strength lies. Because not every story needs a definition. Not every closeness needs justification. Sometimes, just by looking, we already know. Thank you for being with us on Jikook Moments. See you in the next story. In the next moment. In the next whisper, one that may, once again, feel too real to ignore.